Hi everyone, Angus Campbell here, Saturday the 7th of November 2020. So, following rapidly on from the last video though, so this is where we left it, except for the fact that in the meantime I have bitten the bullet and cut off very successfully the original bracket off the silencer, the one that we're going to attack next. So let's crack on. What we're going to do then is cut that bracket off, and then ultimately we'll be welding this one on. But in the meantime, what we've got to do now before we start welding again is cut down this larger cone at this end. So basically cut there, then shorten this element here, cut a V out of it, compress it together, ready for tacking. And I've still got the original fillets we cut out of the other one, which saves us a bit of measuring up again, although I've got the measurements filed away as well. So first of all then is to crack on with the cutting disc rather than the grinding this time. I've still got a bit of dressing up to do yet on this one, but it's come on pretty well. And I mean, in the meantime as well, I've got some finer flapping discs as well, just to finish this off. And then when they're both done, as I said before, I'll be taking the chrome off each of them down the centres here, because ultimately we do want to try and tack these two together, because the intention originally for 71 models was that this was going to be a one-piece unit, and actually two pressed steel halves welded together with a seam top and bottom, which I've never seen an example of that at all. All we're working from is the experimental example that came with the Bandit motor. So that's what we're replicating here, so they'll be the same. So we'll crack on with that. So I've got the bench set up outside, as you can see, a bit clear. It's an absolutely beautiful day. Almost tempted to go out on the A70 really, but I want to crack on with this. And also at the end of this video, this video, I'll give you a bit of an update with respect to the rest of the bike as well, because there's going to be some other things to focus on next week. So so good news. So first things first, get this lot cut. Right, everyone, haven't been at it too long, but making good progress. So this is the second one. So I cut about half of the overlap off from the cone. Not quite pressed in square yet, but near enough to get the right length. And then measuring up, I've cut at the other end. And now, using the sort of reference material I got from the previous silencer, then we need to cut about that amount off there, and then from the remaining cone here we need to cut that wedge out, and from the remaining ring here we need to cut that much out. So so we're getting there. I'd already cut off the original bracket from this second one, but in the meantime as well, I've also done it on the there we are, on the first one too, and that's come off really quite well. Just a little tiny bit of dressing required, just along each edge. But it's interesting now, you can see, and the unchrome just nickel bit, you can see the original seam of that cone, which is totally, it's such a good joint that once it's been dressed slightly and then chromed, there's just absolutely no evidence of it whatsoever. So very clever. Right, so back outside while we've still got the light and finish off the cutting. Right, there we go, 10 minutes later. So what we've done is shortened that piece, cut the V out of it so we can constrict it at that end, and then leave enough scrap in each end so we can tidy up to make it concentric, and then on this piece cut out a portion of that so we can then wind that down and reduce the diameter of it, and it looks pretty radical. But as I say, we had the original scrap pieces from the first side, so as long as we got those the same, then we know we're okay, and we have. So now it's a case of welding time, I think. But first of all, let's get the clips around these two pieces and compress them down and do a test. Right, so after lots of manipulation with different size Jubilee clips, this has been a bit of a pain actually, but you can see that we've got it together at the top end here still and kept it flush, and I've nearly pulled it together at the other end. So what I'm going to do before I do any more is try and get a good weld on that end, so we can then concentrate on bringing this together and then making it a bit more concentric. But that should be okay. And then this one, it does fit on the pipe, so I've done a check on that, and this one formed much better actually, to the extent where there it is. We've just got to weld that up. So we'll tack along there, or even get a run along there, and then we'll take the Jubilee clip off and do the other side, and that's come out a lot better than the original one. So we'll plough on, and then it'll be welding time. Right, next morning, Sunday the 8th of November. Right, set the welder up, so let's get tacking. So we'll tack that, we'll tack the cone, and we need to take that cone off, and we just need to tack the baffle that I've inserted there now. But I've just done a test fit with the baffle in, and that's going to be fine. So that's good. So let's get that lot tacked up, and then we can start cleaning up for piecing it all together as we did the other one. Right, that's the second one tacked up. So cone tacked on, clamp end tacked on, and not quite the same length, but trimming to do at this end to level them up. That's no sweat at all, but pretty pleased with that. And that's the sort of orientation they'll be in, because as you can see, these are the inside mounting brackets that were on these silencers, but we're going to be replacing those. So we've got a bracket and mounting that's going to go pretty near the rear, so it's 7 inches in from the cone end, so around about here. But then also there's another mounting point here, which is this bracket, which fits on somewhere around about there, and then at this end there's a loop around one of the frame rails, which runs diagonally, hence the shape. So let's just do a quick mock-up now with these two pieces, and actually then also with the two guard rails, and we'll see what they look like. Right, there's a view from above, just to give you an idea of where this bracket goes. The chrome guards go on the other side, the 2-wire guards, but those are the positions that will be in. So that distance there is 12 centimetres. Distance there is 7 inches. Sorry about imperial metric, that's me. And then, just going down here, pick that up. That bracket goes somewhere around about there. But we've got to measure that up once we do a first fitting. And we need something on the guard there, a slot there, to mount that bracket in. So in the same way that we made that slotted bracket there for the stay, we're going to do the same. I'm going to grind this one off here, the sacrificial silencer, and ultimately we'll mount that there, and it needs to be slotted in such a way as this one is, so it's wider at this end, so you can get the bolt in and slide it along. Because obviously when these silencers together like that, you cannot get the bolt in from the other side. It needs to go from this side, slide along. So we'll have 2 bolts in it then for that bracket, and then there'll be a loop on there around the frame. But as I say, to get the position of that, we'll need to do everything else first and actually do a fitting on it on the bike. So right, last job then. Let's grind that off, put it on and mock it up. Right, there you go from above. So those are the positions for everything, and for this bracket now, we've now got a mounting slot, so it does enable us to move this bracket, slide it either way to ensure that this hole here will line up with the loop around the frame. So that's a rough position for it now, but we know the position of that one is going to be pretty accurate. Right, good. So the next thing, next job is to finish welding that cone, that joint there, and finish them off, dress them up, and then to do a final dress on everything with the flapper disc to get ready then for considering tacking these 2 silencers together for the final time. Oh, the other thing I've done as well is that with respect to the distance between the 2 pipes here, that's exactly the same as on the Bandit, so we've got that right as well. So outer to outer there is about 10 centimeters, and that's worked out really well. So I think that's as good as we're going to get it really with respect to trying to replicate the system that's on the Bandit. Okay everyone, I think that's it for, we'll leave it there for now, and over the next few days I'll get on with finishing off the welding, and as I think I've said before, and somebody's kindly commented, then as I can wield a grinder, it makes me look like a good welder, which I am definitely not. So I'll spare you the trials and tribulations with that. But one final thing before we go is I'll give you a quick update on the rest of the bike. So here goes. Right, so the major thing that we've been patiently waiting for on the bike is the cylinder head, and great news is that the work that's been undertaken by Ward's Engineering in Rugby has been completed, so I'm picking the head up tomorrow with all the bits and pieces. So we can begin then thinking about doing a test fit of all the components in the head. So we've got one cam here. One cam is at Ward, so that'll be coming back tomorrow. We've got the various cam chain tensioners and runners and adjusters. We've got the head covers, cam chain cover, rocker cover. We've got the tappets, but the first thing we'll be doing is work on the bench, testing the tappet clearances, because we might have a bit of work to do yet with respect to grinding the length of the valve, so the tappet shims are within clearance, if you like, within tolerance. So there will be a bit of work to do there, but quite exciting times really. It's been a long while actually. Must be 6 or 7 months that head's been away, probably. But it was quite an intricate job that had to be done, and special tools had to be made, etc. So I'm not worried about that. I'd rather have the job done properly, especially with this motor, which is a bit. And then there's a few other bits and pieces on order at the moment. Things to begin finishing it off: footrest rubbers, other little bits and pieces. We've got the seat hinges, or the seat mounting to finish off. Yeah, it's just one hinge, and the wire stay for it, and then finish off the mounting of the petrol tank as well. Carbs we've got all ready to go. Also the inlet tubes for the carb mountings, got all that. So we're getting there. So over this winter, this definitely will be finished. So hopefully it'll be complete, and maybe have had its first run by the time we get round to the proposed Stafford show next April. Unless, of course, that's canned because we still might not have a vaccine by then. But anyway, at some point this will be out. Right, that's it, everybody. So on that note, I'll leave you with the final view of that system, and see you all again soon. Thanks very much for your interest, for subscriptions and comments, and thanks very much for watching. Cheers, bye-bye.